And you came out early, it seemed like with a lot of energy. You kind of wanted to look like you were going to try to take over the game. You sort of did that a little bit early. How disappointed are you with the way the second half went?
Not really. They did a great job. They knew I think they figured out they couldn't play us in man. When they played man, we was getting easy drives to the basket, easy looks, and Coach Huggins did a great job of going to us 1-3-1. And like I said, we would have made a couple open shots, we would have broke it open, and they would have had to get out of it. But we couldn't hit none tonight. They did a great job with that 1-3-1 and running their offense.
How much do you think you've matured this entire season? Because it does seem like you're a different guy than when you first got here, especially after the South Carolina game.
I matured a whole lot. It was tough. I'm a tough person to take losses, and I had to mature and get through all this, the process of putting all the leadership on my shoulders and putting all the pressure on my shoulders to help my teammates out. And like I said tonight, we just came up pretty short.
Did you get frustrated, John? It looked like there were points in the game where you guys collectively were getting frustrated, or did I read you wrong?
We got to live. I feel like the span when we got a technical foul, I think he didn't even really say nothing. And, we was frustrated the refs were calling certain calls, and it wasn't going our way. We not putting the game on the refs, because they just played a great game. They played better than us and out-hustled us. But, for that little span, we felt like we wasn't getting certain calls, and they was. We got frustrated about that. But, we stuck together and came back and kept fighting. We just couldn't make shots, and they got easy layups.
You in shock right now, losing a game like this?
I'm not in shock. We knew it was going to be a tough battle. Coach told us they was going to run their plays. And, it's a span where we held them to not make another 2-point baskets, but they got hot from the 3-point line, and that's how they got themselves back in the game.
I think I have to look it up, but I think you guys were 0 for 20 from downtown, while they were at that point 10 for 23. Just one of those nights where you just couldn't shoot, and then nobody wanted to pull the trigger.
Yeah, I think your confidence goes away after you miss a couple. Like Coach said, we usually miss a lot of shots, but we end up winning those games. But you playing a tough team like West Virginia, that's forcing you. They not giving us chances to get to the lane. They forcing us to keep shooting threes. You got to start knocking them down some way.
This seems to be a locker room where guys care a great deal. Ramon just said that he might not take his uniform off tonight because it's the last time. A lot of guys that really care. Can you talk about the guys that really care and are really hurting right now?
All of us care, man. We did. I said it wasn't just for me. I didn't come here just to be me. It's for the whole team. We came back for all the seniors. Patrick and all the freshmen came in. We feel sad that we came much short for the seniors and for Patrick. The main reason he came back was to try to get a championship, and we disappointed ourselves. But like I said, you can't be that down on yourself when the team did a great job of not running man to man, forcing you to make shots, and tonight we should struggle.
What's the next step for you now after this?
I don't know. I'm not thinking about nothing right now, but just disappointed about the loss and just getting back home.
Home meaning Lexington or home being back to your mom?
Lexington. I'm finishing school out.
Is that something, John, that you just sort of, a lot of guys seem to be taking this really hard, and you're kind of saying, well, shots don't fall and shots fall for them. Is it just that simple in basketball?
I took it hard. I took it real hard. I was crying in the locker room. They had to pick me up. As a leadership, you had certain goals you set for the team, and I was trying to lead them all the way there. But we fell short. But like I said, you can't be that down on yourself. We fought hard to the end. Like I said, like you said, we was 0 for 20 at one point. When it was 10 for 23. That's a big difference in the game. That's 30 points to 0. That's where most of their points came from. And they did a great job of running their stuff, and we just couldn't knock down shots.